Welcome to my Game Week 8 review video. It's been another low-scoring week in FPL, with only Forest v Palace left to play. So what have we learnt from the weekend's matches? Do Arsenal struggle without Saka? Has Haaland become too expensive to hold after 3 weeks without a goal? And are Spurs the real deal going forward? Please remember to hit the like button and subscribe if you enjoy the video. Now let's get into it. So, Haaland blanked for the third match in a row. It's the first time that's ever happened since he joined City, and he was barely involved in this game, never looking likely to add to his 10 goals this season. One half chance, which he miskicked, and expected goals of 0, that is unheard of. At 15.4 million, if this continues, he simply can't stay in our teams. That is far too much money to be investing on a player blanking week in, week out. So, is this the week to get rid? Well, his next fixture is at home to Southampton, and that might just be City's best fixture of the season, so probably the wrong time to move him on. But that time is getting closer. If he blanks again, I suspect managers will have had enough. He could be leaving people's teams en masse. I'm holding him for this week, and I'm assuming the goals will start to flow again. But if they don't, he has to be heading towards the exit door. Tougher fixtures are on the horizon for City too. He has to be of much better value to stay in our teams. Sticking with City, Phil Foden didn't get the start that many, including me, were predicting. It's the risk you take owning a City player, and I hope it works out better next week. He did manage an assist off the bench though, as City grabbed a 2-1 win in the last minute through a John Stones header, after a lengthy VAR check. City still can't manage a clean sheet in a week where there weren't many around. Their defensive numbers were once again pretty good, with Wolves only creating 0.95 expected goals. Surely Southampton at home next is the week in which they get one. But it was the attacking threat that was mostly missing from the City performance. They created enough to win the game, but never looked at their free-flowing best. Despite City being unbeaten this season, they haven't been dominating games like we've seen in previous years. Worryingly, there is definitely room for improvement. The big news at the Vitality Stadium in FPL terms was Bukayo Saka not making the Arsenal squad. We had heard from Arteta that his injury wasn't significant, but clearly it was still enough to prevent him playing in this game. For those managers who moved him on for Son, luck was really with them this week. Arsenal missed Saka. Bournemouth away isn't an easy game anyway, but they created very little in the opening half an hour without him. He's been great for them again this season, and it really shows just how vital he is to their attack. But it got worse for Arsenal. A really poor pass from Leandro Trossard put Evanilson clean through for Bournemouth, just inside Arsenal's half. He was hauled over by William Saliba, and at first just the yellow card was given, but VAR got involved, and that was upgraded to red. It was a poor decision from Saliba to bring him down, especially so early in the game. It's also Arsenal's third red card of the season, and each time it's been costing them points. To their credit, Arsenal managed to maintain a threat on Bournemouth's goal with 10 men, but it was Bournemouth who created the better chances from that point onwards. Semenyo missed the best of those, and that wasn't great for owners who had him sub in from first bench after Saka missed the game. Kepa gifted Arsenal a great chance with a poor pass out, but Martinelli spurned the opportunity, and straight after that, Bournemouth took the lead. Arsenal, the kings of the set piece this season, were undone by a great one, with Ryan Christie thumping home. Bournemouth's second came from a Justin Kluivert penalty after Evanilson was brought down. Kluivert seems to have taken penalty duties from Evanilson after he missed the previous one, but with his poor minutes, he's not really an option for FPL managers despite being only 5.3 million. The key things to take from this game then: will Saka be fit for game week 9? Well, fortunately Arsenal have a Champions League game in midweek. If he's fit for that, then there's no reason why not. If he misses out, then it's a waiting game on Mikel Arteta's press conference again. If we're still not sure after we hear from Arteta, with Liverpool at home next, I think he's got to go. After his red card, Saliba is suspended for just one match. With that game being the Liverpool one, I imagine most owners have a better option to play anyway. If that's the case with you, just bench him. There is no reason to sell. He'll be back the week afterwards. Heung-min Son scored and assisted on his return from injury. There has been significant debate as to whether the assist should have been given to him, but for now he's got it. Spurs cruised past West Ham, winning 4-1, but Solanke blanked again, and Brennan Johnson couldn't continue his scoring streak either. This week it was down to Kulusevski and Bissouma to find their shooting boots, plus an own goal from Areola adding to Son's late strike for Spurs. Thanks Kulu for being my highest scoring player this week. Mohamed Kudus scored and then got sent off for West Ham, pleasing and then massively disappointing his owners. On the whole though, Spurs looked back to their attacking best. They ripped through the West Ham defence time and time again. They also only allowed West Ham to create 0.78 expected goals. Spurs' defence looking strong again, and it appears the second half against Brighton, where Spurs fell apart, was more of a one-off. Not a guarantee it won't happen in the future, but another positive sign. Salah got a goal and an assist too, as Liverpool beat Chelsea 2-1. Palmer blanked in a tough fixture for him, and Jota hobbled off after only 30 minutes. We've already heard that he's likely to be out of the Champions League game in midweek. For now, we'll have to wait and hope for information as to whether he'll be back for Arsenal in week 9. Hopefully we'll hear something conclusive in Slott's press conference later in the week. Liverpool conceded 0.93 expected goals. Their defence still looks imperious, even against an attacking Chelsea team. Even though they conceded 1, they really are proving themselves to be the best defence in the league currently. Despite his price and the bad fixtures, I'm still very tempted to hold on to Trent Alexander-Arnold. He wasn't at his most influential in this game, but nobody looks more likely to get clean sheets and attacking returns than him. Dominic Calvert-Lewin wins the Expected Goals Underperformance Award for the week, failing to return despite racking up 1.31 expected. He missed a couple of one-on-ones, both decent saves from Juric in the Ipswich goal. He should have done better, but at least he hit the target. With Fulham and Southampton up next, I'll be giving him more time in my team and hoping returns come. The Everton defence is starting to return FPL points now, with its second clean sheet in 2 matches. Ipswich continued to give up plenty of chances to the opposition. It was their second terrible mistake of the game that gifted the ball back to Everton only a few yards out, and Iliman Ndiaye smacked it home. Everton looked the stronger of the two teams throughout the game, and after that first goal, the result never looked in doubt. Michael Keane blasted it in the second and became this week's highest scoring FPL player. His place in the team is still massively under threat from Jared Branthwaite though. I wouldn't go near him. I just can't see him getting starts when both Tarkowski and Branthwaite are fit. Dwight McNeil got the assist for Keane's goal, and he is really having a great season for Everton. The fixtures remain good for Everton, so he'll be a great option for a while longer. A goal fest took place between two of the league's worst defences at St Mary's on Saturday. Southampton gave away a 2-goal lead to lose 3-2 in the last seconds to Leicester, who've managed to retain their remarkable record of scoring in every game this season. Now, Southampton were very unlucky not to be given a penalty with a score at 2-1, which may have massively changed the outcome of this match. But one thing is for sure, both teams really struggled defensively. Leicester created 3.21 expected goals, Southampton managed 2.15. We will all be expecting big returns for their next opposition, and Leicester host Forest, while Southampton travel to Manchester City. What a chance for Haaland to get back amongst the goals, and City to remind people of what they can really do to a team who aren't at their level. Bruno Fernandes finally returned with an assist in the 2-1 victory at home to Brentford. It's been a long time coming for his owners, if he still has any. United significantly improved on their goals scored for the season after only 5 in the first 7 games, and they were good value for this win. Both Haaland and Garnacho hit beautiful finishes to give United the victory. They are 2 players I'm particularly interested in alongside Bruno Fernandes, with Manchester United having a great fixture run between game weeks 11 and 13. Now I know that's only 3 weeks, but they do play Leicester, Ipswich and Everton, which is about as good as it gets. If they continue to show some good attacking threat in the next few weeks, they could prove to be a couple of very interesting differentials at pretty reasonable prices, of only 6.9 million for Haaland and 6.2 for Garnacho after he dropped again last night. Mbeumo blanked for Brentford for the first time in 4 games. It wasn't an easy match for him, but that blank doesn't put me off getting him in game week 9 at home to Ipswich in the slightest. I'll probably make the transfer this evening as he's due a price rise tonight. Interesting also was to see that Yoane Wissa was back on the bench for Brentford. He'd recovered much earlier than expected from his injury. He came on for the last 30 minutes, and I'd expect him to get swiftly back into the team. With Ipswich at home in game week 9, he could be a wonderful differential for anyone able to get him in alongside Mbeumo. Emi Martinez saved a penalty from Andreas Pereira, as goals from Ollie Watkins and Morgan Rogers helped Villa to a 3-1 win. In a week of many red cards, both Anderson and Philogene were sent off, seeing Fulham and Villa reduced to 10 men apiece. Watkins continues to do well, scoring a lovely header, and Rogers has really started racking up the FPL points now. Today's goal was a very lucky one with a huge deflection, but he continues to look great value at his price. Jimenez scored again for Fulham and now has 4 goals and 1 assist in his last 5 games. He's hit a really good patch of form, and Fulham's next 4 fixtures look good against Everton, Brentford, Palace and Wolves. Another thing worth mentioning is that it was a really poor penalty from Andreas Pereira. Perhaps he won't be given the next one, and just maybe Raul Jimenez might be the man who's on that list. We don't know, but it's certainly a possibility and will be a nice addition to his goal-scoring potential. He may not be the top target for this week, but if you can get him, he certainly looks a good option at the moment. Danny Welbeck scored yet again as Brighton left St James's Park with a 1-0 win over Newcastle. With João Pedro out, he's been ticking along nicely with FPL points, but he was taken off on a stretcher towards the end of the game with a nasty-looking injury. We'll listen out to the extent of his injury during the week, but it doesn't look good for him, and owners may well have to sell. The goal was against the run of play, with Newcastle creating 2.02 expected goals to Brighton's 1.12. So Newcastle rode their luck earlier in the season, but this time they didn't get any. They'll have been really disappointed not to take something away from this game, as Brighton's defence was looking pretty vulnerable throughout. Anthony Gordon was once again Newcastle's biggest threat, but both of these teams just aren't ones I'm looking to invest in at the moment. That's all for now. I hope this was helpful. Please remember to hit the like button and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Thanks again, and see you for the next one.